Our veterans, we're going to have to take care of our veterans and their health care. I'm committed to doing that. We're going to have to help them. There's a lot of wounds out of this terrible war. There's a lot of sacrifice. And we're going to have to improve our capabilities both in military medical and also VA to help these veterans who are coming home who have performed with such magnificent courage and bravery. But I also want to say that our veterans who need routine care have to have access to routine care. And so I'm going to have a system where they have a plastic card and they go to the health care provider of their choice when they have a routine health care need, rather than have to wait in line to get an appointment at the VA facility. Finally, I want to end up Finally, I just obviously need to talk to you about Iraq. It's hard and it's long and it's tough. It's been very frustrating. I think you know that I fought against the Rumsfeld strategy, which was failing for nearly 4 years, and I fought for the strategy that's now succeeding. My friends, we are succeeding. We are succeeding there. And if you forget everything I mentioned to you, please remember that Al-Qaeda is on the run, but they're not defeated. There's still some long, hard work to do. And we've made an enormous sacrifice. And I know that America is divided about this war. And by the way, Governor Daniels mentioned to me that the Indiana Guard is deploying a very, very large number. How many thousand is it, Mitch? About 1,300 brave young members of the Indiana National Guard are about to deploy to Iraq to defend this nation. I know you're proud of them. I know you're very proud of them. The fourth largest National Guard in America, it resides in the state of Indiana, and they performed magnificently. I've encountered them on my various trips to Iraq and Afghanistan. So, my friends, it's long and it's hard and it's difficult. But I still believe that if we'd have done what the Democrats want to do, what they still want to do, believe it or not, and that set a date for withdrawal, that would have meant a date for surrender, and Al-Qaeda would be telling the world they defeated the United States of America. My friends, Senator Clinton and Senator Obama were wrong when they said that the surge wouldn't succeed. It's succeeding. They were wrong when they said that the Iraqi government could not perform effectively. They are performing. By the way, the governor will be particularly cognizant of this. The Iraqis just passed a budget. We have not been able to do that in our nation's capital. The Iraqis were able to do that. So, and are they still plagued with problems? Of course. You know how hard democracy is. Democracy is the hardest thing to adapt in the history of the world. So we are succeeding, and I believe that you will be able to withdraw American troops, and I believe American presence will be something that's decided in negotiations after we have won this struggle between the United States and Iraq, the same way we entered into agreement with the United States and Kuwait. As you know, we have a very large base in Kuwait, Oman, and other countries, including Turkey, where we have bases. But I can assure you, we will bring those young men and women home, but we'll bring them home with honor and victory and not defeat. And I promise you that I will do that. As you know, there were times when people said that my political ambitions were at an end, and part of it was because of my support of this new strategy. Every once in a while you have an experience that puts everything into the right priority and makes things far more clear to you as to what your values and goals are. And that happened to me in Wolfboro, New Hampshire, last August at a town hall meeting. A woman stood up and said, "Senator McCain, would you do me the honor of wearing a bracelet with my son's name on it, Matthew Stanley?" Matthew was 22 years old. He was killed in combat outside of Baghdad just before Christmas last year. I said I would be honored to wear this bracelet with your son's name on it. And then she said, "Senator McCain, I want you to promise me one thing. I want you to promise me that you'll do everything in your power to make sure that my son's death was not in vain." Well, I have taken that commitment very seriously. And that's why I have, in many ways, kept in mind Matthew Stanley's mother quite frequently. And I know that America's best days are ahead of us, because when I have the opportunity of being around these brave young Americans who are serving, I know, as you do, that my job as President of the United States will be to inspire another generation to serve a cause greater than their self-interest. America's greatest days and best days are ahead of us. This is a very dangerous world we live in, and there's a lot of challenges. But America still, despite our difficulties, remains a beacon of hope and liberty to people throughout the world. And I'm convinced that in the 21st century, we will keep America, as Ronald Reagan used to call us, a shining city on a hill. Thank you for being here today, and I'm ready to answer any questions or comments that you might have for me. Thank you. Yes. Would you ring the microphone? And if someone up there has a question they want to shout down, I would be glad to do that as well. Yes.
I have a question regarding immigration. I know the majority of people think of this as this mass amount of people, and what tends to get lost in this debate is the individuals who make up that large group. For example, my husband, he is in the process of being deported, and honestly, the only thing that will save him right now is a private bill from an Indiana senator or congressman. And I hate to turn this into a personal agenda, but knowing that you believe in strong families and are very pro-immigration and have introduced pro-immigration legislation, is there anything you can do to help our family out?
I would be glad to look at any case that has humanitarian aspects associated with it. But I think the message is very clear from the American people that they want our borders secured. They want our borders secured, and they want the borders secured first. And that's what I will do as President of the United States. I will secure our borders. I will have our border state governors certify that the borders are secure. Then we move forward with tamper-proof biometric documents for people who are temporary workers, and anyone who hires someone who comes here illegally and does not have that, then we would prosecute them because they would be in violation of a system that we had set up. Then we have to address this issue in a humane and compassionate fashion. I think you may know that there's 2 million people who are in this country who have violated our laws while in this country. They've got to be rounded up and deported immediately. There are others who have been here for many years. There's humanitarian cases. A humanitarian case last year, there's a soldier in Iraq who is missing in action. His wife was here illegally. Obviously, we're not going to deport his wife. We're not going to do that. And so we will address particularly individual cases on a humanitarian and compassionate viewpoint, because that's the way America is. But we have to secure our borders. We have to have a system that doesn't encourage others to come across our borders illegally or enter our country illegally. And then we have to have a system rewarding no one, in all due respect, for having come to this country illegally ahead of someone who has either come to this country legally or waited in a legal fashion. I'd be glad to look at your situation, and I'm sure that the Indiana senators are as well. Thank you.